Your dreams are coming together in divine order. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life when the noise of the world grows quiet and a deeper voice begins to speak. A voice that does not shout but knows. A voice that does not beg but remembers. And that voice is the one that has brought you here today. You did not arrive by accident, you were guided, drawn, positioned into this moment because something within you already knows that your dreams are not scattered, not delayed, and not forgotten. They are assembling in perfect, divine order. We live in a world that trains us to believe in chaos, to see life as unpredictable, unfair, and disjointed. We are told that timing is random, that luck is unevenly distributed, and that some people are simply chosen while others must settle. But deep inside, you have always felt something different. You have always sensed that your life is not a mistake, that your desires are not foolish, that your vision for more love, more abundance, more freedom, more purpose is not fantasy but destiny calling you forward. The truth is, your dreams did not appear inside you to tease you. They appeared because they are real on a level beyond what your eyes can see. And everything real must eventually become visible. You are not waiting for your dream. Your dream is waiting for you to become the version of yourself who can receive it. This is why the journey has felt intense. This is why you have had moments of uncertainty, moments of questioning, moments of wondering if you are doing something wrong. You aren't. You are being shaped, you are being refined, you are being aligned. Every experience, every delay, every unexpected turn has been quietly sculpting you into the person who can live the life you have imagined. And what you imagine is not random. Your mind is not inventing impossible things. It is tuning into possibilities that already exist. When you envision a better future, you are not wishing, you are remembering. You are glimpsing a version of reality that is already prepared for you, waiting for you to step into it. This is why nothing you truly desire ever leaves you. It keeps coming back. It keeps knocking on your awareness. It keeps whispering, "This is yours." That persistent longing is not weakness, it is alignment. It is the signal that you and your destiny are moving toward each other. Tonight, as we begin this journey together, I invite you to release the idea that life is happening to you. It is happening for you. Every closed door redirected you. Every heartbreak strengthened you. Every pause protected you. Every moment of waiting was organizing the next miracle. You do not have to chase what is already on its way. You do not have to force what is already forming. Your only task is to believe not with hope, but with certainty that what you seek is also seeking you. Because when you truly understand divine order, fear dissolves, doubt weakens, and trust becomes natural. And in that trust, your dreams begin to arrive. The invisible hand of consciousness is already moving through every corner of your life, quietly rearranging people, places, opportunities, and circumstances so that they align with what you have assumed to be true about yourself. Nothing you see right now is fixed. Everything is fluid, responsive, and alive. The world you experience is not something happening to you, it is something happening from you. The moment you accepted a new possibility, even for a second, reality began reshaping itself to meet that acceptance. You may not feel it yet, but something has already shifted. A decision was made inside you when you said, "There must be more than this." When you allowed yourself to imagine a better life, more love, more abundance, more freedom, more recognition, you activated a deeper law. Life does not question your imagination, it obeys it. The invisible dimension that governs form instantly begins organizing itself around whatever state you dwell in. This is why things often feel strange before they improve. Old situations start to fall apart. Certain people drift away. Familiar routines lose their grip. It can feel like instability, but it is not destruction, it is reconfiguration. Reality is removing what no longer matches the version of you that has been born inside your mind. What once fit no longer does, because you have silently upgraded who you are. There are conversations happening about you right now that you do not hear. There are doors being prepared that you have not yet knocked on. There are opportunities in motion that do not yet have your name on them, but they will. The unseen world always moves first. Physical reality is just the final echo. When you understand this, impatience disappears. You stop asking, "When will it happen?" Because you realize it already has, just not in the form you can see yet. What you call waiting is actually gestation. Your desire is growing roots in the invisible, strengthening itself so that when it breaks through into the physical, it arrives with stability, not collapse. You do not need to push. You do not need to chase. You do not need to beg. Those behaviors come from believing that you are separate from what you want. But you are not separate. You are the source of it. What you seek is moving because you moved first in consciousness. Even setbacks are part of this orchestration. When something doesn't work out, it is often because it would have taken you off course. When a door closes, it is not rejection, it is protection. The invisible hand does not make mistakes, it filters. It selects. It edits your reality so only what matches your inner assumption remains. Think about how many times something fell apart that later made sense. How many times a no saved you from something that would have drained you. How many times a delay redirected you toward something far greater. That was not coincidence. That was alignment at work. Right now, your job is not to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to remain loyal to the version of you who already has it. When you wake up, think from that state. When you make decisions, choose from that identity. When doubts appear, gently return to the knowing that it is done. The invisible hand responds to consistency, not effort. It watches what you repeatedly accept as true about yourself. If you keep returning to the idea that you are blessed, supported, chosen, and favored, life has no option but to prove you right. Every assumption is a command. Every inner story is a blueprint. And the unseen world builds exactly what you believe you are entitled to receive. You do not have to see the whole path. You only need to trust the direction. When you walk as if your success is inevitable, your relationships are destined, and your abundance is secure, the universe rearranges itself around that certainty. You may notice people suddenly offering help. You may see opportunities appear without struggle. You may find yourself in the right place at the right time more often. This is not luck. This is alignment responding to your inner shift. The more relaxed you become, the faster it moves. Desperation blocks. Trust allows. When you release the need to control the outcome, you allow the invisible intelligence to do its work. And it is always working. Even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is happening. Right now, unseen threads are pulling things toward you. Circumstances are being woven. Meetings are being scheduled. Timelines are being adjusted. All because you dared to imagine something better. This is why you must not return to old thinking. You cannot afford to think like someone who is waiting. You must think like someone who is expecting. There is a difference. Waiting assumes lack. Expecting assumes arrival. And the invisible hand moves according to expectation. So speak to yourself differently. Think about yourself differently. Hold yourself as someone whose dreams are already unfolding. Because they are. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to stay in harmony with what is already happening on your behalf. The moment you do that, the invisible becomes visible. The moment a desire is born within you, it is already proof that its fulfillment exists. Nothing appears in consciousness without first being real on a deeper level. You do not randomly imagine a better life, a higher income, a loving relationship, or a new identity. These images arise because they already belong to you in a dimension beyond what the eyes can see. Desire is not longing, it is recognition. Most people think they are wanting something they do not have. In truth, they are sensing something that is already theirs. That pull you feel toward a certain future is not fantasy. It is memory. It is awareness reaching toward what already exists in a completed state. You are not creating something from nothing. You are tuning into a reality that is already formed. This is why your desires feel so personal. No one else feels exactly what you feel. No one else is obsessed with your specific dream. That is because it was designed for you. You were given that desire because you are the only one meant to live it. Consciousness does not waste energy. It does not plant impossible ideas inside you. It only reveals what is available. When you understand this, doubt begins to collapse. You no longer ask, "Can I have this?" You start asking, "How do I align with what is already mine?" That is a completely different state. One comes from separation. The other comes from ownership. Every time you imagine yourself in the life you want, you are not pretending. You are visiting. You are stepping into a version of yourself that already exists. You are sampling the future that is calling you forward. And the more often you go there in imagination, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, it feels more real than your current circumstances. And whatever feels more real must become real. This is the law that governs everything. Reality follows dominant awareness. What you repeatedly return to in thought, feeling, and expectation hardens into fact. That is why people get stuck in cycles, not because life is cruel, but because they keep revisiting the same inner state. But the same law that traps also frees. When you consistently dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire, you invite its physical expression. Your job is not to force it to happen. Your job is to accept that it already has. The moment you stop begging and start assuming, things shift. The moment you stop hoping and start knowing, doors begin to open. The moment you stop asking and start expecting, life responds. This is why desperation slows things down. It declares that you do not have it. But calm expectation speeds everything up because it declares that it is done. You do not chase what you believe is yours. You wait for it to arrive, and arrive it must. The unseen world has no choice but to match your inner conviction. If you know you are loved, you will be treated as loved. If you know you are wealthy, opportunities will appear. If you know you are chosen, you will be selected. The world is a mirror that reflects your self-concept. So the real work is not in changing circumstances. It is in changing identity. Who are you being in your own mind? Are you someone waiting for life to improve, or someone who knows life is already improving? Are you someone hoping for a breakthrough, or someone who knows it is inevitable? Your answers to these questions determine everything. The reason your desire keeps returning is because it is not yet fully accepted. The moment you truly accept something as yours, it no longer feels like a distant dream. It feels normal, it feels expected, it feels obvious. And when it becomes obvious, it becomes inevitable. This is why some people manifest effortlessly. They do not feel like they are trying. They feel like things just work out for them. And they are right because they assume they do. They walk through life with the quiet knowing that things go their way. And life obeys. You can do the same. You do not need to be special. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to decide what is true about you and remain faithful to it. When you wake up, remind yourself what I desire exists. It is real. It is mine. It is already forming. Then move through your day as if that were a fact, not with forced positivity, but with relaxed certainty. When doubts appear, do not fight them. Just return to the knowing. When fear speaks, let it speak and then remember who you are. You are not a beggar in this universe. You are a chooser. And what you choose inwardly must appear outwardly. The unseen does not argue. It does not resist. It reflects. So reflect abundance and abundance appears. Reflect love and love arrives. Reflect confidence and the world treats you accordingly. Your desire exists because its fulfillment exists. The seed would not be in you if the tree were not already planted. All that remains is for you to live as the one who knows. When something does not happen right away, the mind calls it a delay, but consciousness knows it as precision. What you are waiting on is not stuck, it is being arranged. Every desire moves through a sequence of alignment before it becomes visible. And that sequence often looks like nothing is happening, even though everything is happening beneath the surface. If your dream were to arrive before the environment was ready, it would collapse. If it showed up before you had the inner stability to hold it, you would lose it. If it appeared before the right people, timing, and circumstances were aligned, it would create chaos instead of fulfillment. So life waits, not to deny you, but to deliver your desire in a form that can last. You are not being tested, you are being calibrated. Every period of waiting is shaping you. It is teaching you patience, self-trust, emotional control, and inner authority. These are not obstacles. They are the very qualities your future requires. You cannot sustain a higher level life with a lower level identity. The delay is not keeping your dream away from you. It is building the version of you that can keep it when it arrives. Look at how you have changed during this time. You think differently. You feel differently. You see things differently. Old fears no longer control you the way they used to. Old patterns no longer have the same grip. You are becoming someone new, and that new self is the one who matches the life you asked for. This is why some things had to fall apart. Relationships that once felt right suddenly felt wrong. Situations that once worked stopped working. Comfort zones became uncomfortable. This was not punishment. This was preparation. The old structure could not hold the new reality that was coming, so it had to be dismantled. Nothing that truly belongs to you will be lost in this process, but everything that no longer matches who you are becoming must go. The unseen intelligence behind your life is incredibly exact. It does not rush. It does not panic. It waits for the perfect moment when all variables line up, your mindset, your beliefs, your environment, and your self-concept, so that when your desire arrives, it feels natural, not shocking. This is why forcing things rarely works. You may get something early, but it comes with stress, instability, or loss. When something arrives through alignment, it comes with ease, peace, and permanence. What you are experiencing now is not emptiness. It is the quiet before alignment locks in. It is the pause that allows the next chapter to land smoothly instead of crashing. Every day you remain faithful to your vision. Even when nothing seems to be changing, you are telling the unseen world that you trust it. And trust is what speeds up alignment. Doubt slows things down. Resistance distorts timing. But calm knowing accelerates everything. This is why some people suddenly receive breakthroughs after long periods of nothing. The unseen was building the bridge the whole time. And when it was complete, everything appeared at once. Your life is no different. The delay you are in is not random. It is where everything is being organized behind the scenes. Conversations are happening. Decisions are being made. People are being moved into position. Opportunities are being prepared. You do not see it, but it is happening. And you do not have to help it. Your only role is to remain in the state of expectation. To continue seeing yourself as the one who is destined for what they desire. To not let temporary appearances convince you that nothing is moving. Because the fastest way to slow something down is to doubt that it is coming. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? Begin asking, what is being perfected right now? Instead of thinking, nothing is happening, start knowing, everything is aligning. This shift changes everything. The moment you stop emotionally chasing the outcome, it moves toward you. The moment you relax into the knowing that it is done, it begins to show up. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are right on time for the life that is being built for you. And when it arrives, it will not feel like a miracle. It will feel like it was always meant to happen. The version of you who already has what you want is not a fantasy. It is a living reality within consciousness. Somewhere in the infinite field of possibility exists a you who is already successful, already loved, already fulfilled, already confident, already free. And that version is not separate from you. It is you tuned to a different state. Everything in your life is determined by the state you are living from. Not what you hope for, not what you wish for, but what you quietly accept as normal about yourself. There is a version of you who wakes up expecting good things. A version of you who naturally attracts respect, money, opportunities, and love. A version of you who does not chase, beg, or wonder if they are worthy. They know they are. And the reason you want what you want is because you have already felt what that version of you feels like. Even for a second, even in imagination. That was not wishful thinking. That was contact. Every time you imagine yourself in your dream life, you step into that identity. You borrow its emotional atmosphere. You feel its certainty. And in that moment, you are no longer the old version of you. You are the one who has it. The more often you do this, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, that version starts to feel more real than the one defined by your current circumstances. And when that happens, reality must update. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are being. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will meet struggle. If you see yourself as someone who is chosen, you will be chosen. If you see yourself as someone who is always provided for, provision will appear. This is why identity is everything. You can say affirmations all day, but if your inner self-image has not changed, nothing shifts. But when your self-concept moves, everything moves with it. The key is to stop trying to get the thing and start being the one who has it. How does that version of you think? How do they walk? How do they make decisions? How do they respond to challenges? How do they see themselves? They do not feel desperate. They feel secure. They do not feel behind. They feel ahead. They do not feel unlucky. They feel favored. When you practice these inner states, you are not pretending. You are aligning. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is happening and what is imagined. It only knows what feels real. And whatever feels real becomes your reality. So when you repeatedly feel the peace of having, the confidence of being chosen, the satisfaction of success, your nervous system adjusts. Your expectations shift. Your decisions change. And life responds. This is why things start to happen naturally. You stop chasing and people start calling. You stop forcing and opportunities start appearing. You stop begging and things begin flowing. Because you are no longer sending the signal of lack. You are sending the signal of completion. And the world mirrors that. The old version of you lived from wanting. The new version of you lives from having. The old version watched and waited. The new version expects and receives. This is not about arrogance. This is about inner authority. It is about knowing who you are. When you know you are chosen, you do not need to prove it. When you know you are valuable, you do not need to chase validation. When you know you are successful, you do not panic when things are quiet. Silence does not scare the fulfilled version of you. It knows something is forming. So every day, step into that identity. Speak to yourself as that person. Treat yourself as that person. Make decisions from that level. You do not have to do anything extreme. Just subtly shift how you see yourself. Instead of, I hope this works, think, this is already unfolding. Instead of, why hasn't it happened? Think, it's already done. Instead of, I'm trying, think, I'm allowing. These small inner changes create massive outer results. Because you are not changing the world. You are changing who you are in the world. And when you do that, the world has no choice but to match you. Everything that has ever happened to you has been part of a larger orchestration, moving you toward your destiny. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was meant to break you. Even the moments that felt like loss were actually moments of redirection. You were never being pushed backward. You were being guided forward through a path you could not yet see. The mind looks at experiences in isolation and calls them mistakes, failures, or setbacks. But consciousness sees the whole pattern. It sees how every closed door prevented a worse outcome. It sees how every delay protected you. It sees how every heartbreak softened you, strengthened you, and prepared you for something better. What looked like rejection was often alignment in disguise. You could not become the person who receives your dream without shedding the version of you who could not. That shedding process is uncomfortable. It feels like confusion, loneliness, frustration, and uncertainty. But it is not happening to punish you, it is happening to free you. Every time something fell apart, it was because it could not go where you are going. The old friendships, the old habits, the old identities, the old environments, they belong to a version of you that no longer exists. And when the old dissolves, it creates space. Space for new people, space for new opportunities, space for new self-beliefs, space for the life you have been asking for. This is why things sometimes feel empty right before a breakthrough. The emptiness is not lack, it is room. When you stop seeing hardship as something happening to you and start seeing it as something happening for you, your entire relationship with life changes. You stop fighting your experiences. You stop resenting the past. You stop fearing the unknown. And in that surrender, everything begins to flow. The unseen intelligence behind your life has always known exactly where you were meant to go. It knew which experiences would teach you confidence. It knew which disappointments would teach you boundaries. It knew which losses would lead to self-worth. It knew which delays would build patience. Nothing was accidental. Even the pain had a purpose. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are stronger, more aware, more selective, more emotionally intelligent, more self-directed. You do not settle the way you used to. You do not tolerate the way you used to. You do not doubt yourself the way you used to. That did not happen randomly. It happened because life was shaping you for what is coming. If your dream had arrived earlier, you might have ruined it. You might have given too much. You might have accepted too little. You might have walked away from what you should have held. You might have held on to what you should have left. So life waited. It waited until you knew your worth. It waited until you could say no. It waited until you could choose yourself. It waited until you could receive without guilt. That is not delay. That is wisdom. Right now, even the things that feel uncomfortable are serving you. Even the uncertainty is positioning you. Even the waiting is strengthening your faith in yourself. You are not lost. You are being led. Every day you wake up and keep going, you are moving closer to the life that was designed for you. Even when you don't see progress, progress is happening. Even when nothing changes outwardly, something is shifting inwardly. And inner shifts always come first. The version of you that doubted everything had to go. The version of you that settled had to go. The version of you that felt unworthy had to go. So the version of you that is ready could arrive. This is why you must stop replaying the past with regret. It all had a role, it all had a reason. It all brought you here. And here is where everything begins to turn. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not unlucky. You are aligned. And when you are aligned, what is meant for you cannot miss you. Even now, life is working for you, not against you, always.